In this video, we're going to preview the Aston Villa versus Tottenham game that's coming up on 13 January. Aston Villa versus Tottenham is actually a very big game for both teams, much bigger than most people realize, and let me tell you why. Aston Villa have confirmed that a COVID-19 outbreak has resulted in the shutdown of their training facility, and many team players and staff have tested positive for the virus already. Spurs manager Jose Mourinho was not pleased with the late postponement of their Premier League game against Fulham. In addition, both teams are very close on points in the Premier League table. So let's take a closer look at the starting lineups, tactical formations, and key one-on-one battles expected in this game. But before we go any further, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Aston Villa and Everton were the only teams that had a 100% record in their first 4 games of the season, picking up 12 points. They have consistently remained in the top half of the table since then. Tottenham, on the other hand, were top of the table around the beginning of December, and they have performed very well all season against the top teams. They beat Arsenal 2-0 early December and played very well against champions Liverpool, but were unlucky to lose that game 2-1, with a late winner coming from Liverpool from set pieces. So let's start with the table position of both teams. Aston Villa currently are 8th in the league, but they have played 1 game less than Tottenham, who are sitting 4th in the league. In terms of points, Aston Villa have exactly 3 less points than Tottenham, with 26 versus Tottenham's 29. Which means that if Aston Villa win this game against Tottenham, they will move level on points with their competitors. Both teams enter the game in really good form. Aston Villa have actually picked up 8 points from the last 5 games, with only 1 loss, which came against Man United in the 2-1 defeat recently. Spurs, on the other hand, started the league campaign this year in very good shape, but fell behind in the last 5 games, with only 1 win, 2 draws and 2 losses. They won their last game 3-0 against Leeds United. In terms of the defensive record, Aston Villa have kept a lot more clean sheets than Tottenham, with 53%. This is down to a combination of disciplined defending along with excellent goalkeeping. Tottenham, on the other hand, have had several mistakes in defense this season, resulting in only a 37.5% in clean sheets. In terms of ball possession, Aston Villa have around 50% of the ball possession on average in all of their Premier League games this season, which is a little bit more than what Tottenham have had all season as well. Tottenham have become more of a counter-attacking team under Jose Mourinho. They don't necessarily thrive on the ball much, but when they do get the ball, they're very effective. And this is shown in their chance conversion rate, which is 11.8%, one of the highest in the league, compared with Aston Villa's 9%. Even though Aston Villa have had the ball a lot more, their chance conversion rate is not as good as most of the teams in the league. So this fixture is poised to be a very entertaining fixture. Aston Villa would probably have more of the ball, and they're coming up against one of the best counter-attacking teams in Tottenham. Let's look at the starting lineups of both teams. Aston Villa have Emiliano Martinez in goal, and he has the most clean sheets in the English Premier League so far. Their defensive lineup has been very solid, with Target and Cash bombing up and down the flanks, being solid in defense and very good in attack as well, providing many crosses into the box. So we can expect their defensive lineup to remain unchanged, and the defense will look to have a very good game against Tottenham, who have a solid attacking lineup. In midfield, Greelish, McGinn and Lewis have been very strong. Greelish in particular has had 7 assists this season. In terms of the wider men, El Ghazi and Traore have started most of the games this season, but you can expect a bit of a shuffle up since players will be rested and there is also the COVID pandemic to think about. Overall, Aston Villa have relied on this 11 quite a bit this season, simply because they have a very weak bench overall. So if many players from this starting 11 have been affected by the COVID-19 virus, then you could expect them to field a very weak team that could result in an open game versus Tottenham. Tottenham will start with Lloris in goal, who has been performing very well all season. Defensive back four with Davies, Dyer, Alderweireld and Aurier have done quite well as well. You could expect one or two players could be rested here, and someone like Sanchez could come into defense. These central defensive midfielders, Hoiberg and Winks, have had good performance as well. And in the last game, they used Sissoko instead of Winks, and he scored a goal as well. So within their squad, they have enough rotational capability to make sure that the right players come in and the performances are not affected. The front four in Son, Ndombele, Bergwijn and Kane have performed well this season as well. Especially Son and Kane have had a tremendous number of assists and goals amongst themselves this season. Son Heung-min is the second highest goal scorer in the EPL after Mohamed Salah with 12 goals this season. And Harry Kane leads the EPL with the most assists this season so far. Bergwijn and Ndombele are the question marks in the midfield, and they could be potentially replaced by Lucas Moura and even Dele Alli. However, you could expect Mourinho to stick with Ndombele and Bergwijn even though they've missed a significant number of chances this season, as their work rate has been quite good. The last meeting between the two sides ended in a Tottenham victory back in February 2020 as they won 3-2 in an entertaining game. The interesting point here is both teams are expected to play similar formations in 4-2-3-1. This will result in a very interesting competition in the central midfield area with a 5-on-5 like I've shown you here. The key one-on-one battles because of this 5 versus 5 are going to be Grealish versus Hoiberg, where Hoiberg will need to keep a really close eye on Grealish and make sure that the attacking midfielder doesn't get the opportunity to control the game. Another interesting battle will be Ndombele versus Lewis. Ndombele as well, like Grealish, operates in central midfield in an attacking role. And the way Tottenham are set up, the front four often change positions and make dynamic runs and don't often play in a very static manner. So Lewis will have a very important role to play along with McGinn in making sure that these diagonal runs and positional changes are tracked and the threat is neutralized. Like I said, Heung-min Son is in red hot form. So the central defenders of Aston Villa will need to have a great game against Son and Kane. Son in particular tends to drift centrally often and make diagonal runs. And this is where Mings and Konsa in particular will need to be very alert. You could expect this game to be very entertaining simply because of the way both teams are set up. You could also argue that this game has a draw written all over it, but given the open nature of both teams, it's quite possible that it could result in quite a few goals.